In this section, we'll define what constitutes a bad boy or bad girl archetype and explore their common characteristics. The bad boy or bad girl is characterized by several key traits. These include rebelliousness against social norms, emotional unavailability, an air of mystery, fiercely defended independence, and a tendency toward risk taking behavior. At the core of the bad boy or girl is the rebel archetype. They actively challenge authority, break social rules, project unwavering confidence, and appear fearless in the face of social consequences. A defining characteristic is emotional unavailability. Bad boys and girls typically have difficulty expressing feelings, avoid deep emotional conversations, and maintain emotional distance. This creates uncertainty that can paradoxically increase attraction. Some bad individuals may display traits associated with what psychologists call the dark triad. These three interconnected personality traits include narcissism, characterized by excessive self-love and entitlement, Machiavellianism, marked by manipulation and strategic exploitation of others, and psychopathy, involving a lack of empathy and impulsive behavior. From an evolutionary perspective, bad boys often display hyper-masculine traits. These include exaggerated dominance, physical strength displays, excessive risk-taking, competitive behavior with other males, and bold expressions of sexuality. These traits may have signaled genetic fitness in our evolutionary past. Evolutionary biologists suggest that these bad traits may have evolved as signals of genetic fitness. The ability to survive despite taking risks, successfully acquire resources through unconventional means, and maintain social power could indicate advantageous genetic qualities to potential mates. To summarize, the bad boy or bad girl archetype is defined by rebellion against social norms, emotional unavailability that creates mystery, fierce independence and unpredictability, possible dark triad personality traits, and hypermasculine or nonconformist characteristics that challenge conventional expectations. Attachment theory provides a powerful framework for understanding why certain people are drawn to bad boys and bad girls. Developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, attachment theory describes how our early bonds with caregivers shape our relationship patterns throughout our lives. These early experiences create internal models of how relationships work, influencing who we're attracted to and how we behave in relationships. Researchers identify four main attachment styles that develop in childhood and persist into adulthood. These include secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and fearful avoidant attachment. Each style influences how we approach relationships and connection. The bad boy or bad girl archetype often exhibits an avoidant attachment style. This develops when early caregivers were consistently unresponsive or discouraged dependency. People with avoidant attachment prioritize independence above all else. They're uncomfortable with emotional intimacy, tend to suppress their feelings, have difficulty trusting others, and are often perceived as emotionally unavailable. These exact traits, emotional detachment, self-reliance, and aloofness, are commonly associated with the bad boy or bad girl archetype in relationships. On the other side of the dynamic, individuals with anxious attachment styles are often intensely drawn to bad boys and bad girls. People with anxious attachment crave emotional closeness, fear abandonment, seek constant reassurance, are highly attuned to their partner's emotions, and often take rejection personally. The anxious avoidant dynamic creates a powerful attraction pattern that explains why so many people are drawn to bad boys and bad girls. The anxious person's desire for connection and the avoidant person's need for independence creates a push-pull dynamic that can be emotionally intense. This cycle begins when the anxious partner seeks closeness, which makes the avoidant partner feel smothered, causing them to withdraw. This withdrawal triggers the anxious partner's deepest fears, leading them to pursue even more intensely. The cycle then repeats, creating a powerful but often unhealthy chemistry. Attachment theory offers a powerful explanation for the allure of bad boys and bad girls. The anxious person is drawn to the challenge of winning the avoidant person's affection, while the avoidant person feels safe with someone who won't fully penetrate their emotional walls. When we explore the attraction to bad boys or bad girls, we need to understand the powerful role of dopamine in our brain. Dopamine is often called the brain's reward chemical. It's released when we experience pleasure and is strongly associated with rewards and motivation. This neurotransmitter essentially drives us to repeat behaviors that brought us pleasure in the past, creating a powerful reinforcement mechanism. Just as with addictive substances, romantic interactions can trigger dopamine release in the brain's reward system. This image shows how addiction affects the brain's limbic system and cortex. A key concept in understanding this addictive cycle is intermittent reinforcement, where rewards or attention come unpredictably and sporadically. This unpredictable pattern of rewards, as shown in this diagram, creates a much stronger addiction than consistent rewards. It's the same principle that makes gambling and social media so addictive. Now let's compare how different relationship patterns affect dopamine release and reinforcement. In a relationship with a consistent partner, affection and attention are reliable and predictable, creating a steady but moderate dopamine release. In contrast, an inconsistent bad partner alternates between giving intense attention and complete neglect, creating dramatic spikes in dopamine when attention finally comes. This pattern follows what psychologists call a variable ratio schedule of reinforcement, which is remarkably resistant to extinction. As this graph shows, behaviors reinforced on a variable schedule are performed at a high rate during acquisition and are very slow to extinguish when rewards stop. This explains why it's so difficult to break away from relationships with inconsistent partners. The brain becomes conditioned to anticipate the reward, and each hit of attention reinforces the addictive pattern. This creates a cycle where periods of neglect actually generate hope for the next moment of attention, making these relationships particularly addictive. Understanding this dopamine-driven addictive cycle helps explain why the allure of bad partners can be so powerful and difficult to resist. The thrill of the chase. What makes pursuing the unattainable so compelling? Psychologically, the appeal of chasing someone unattainable stems from several key factors. Uncertainty creates a sense of anticipation that keeps us engaged. Intermittent rewards, those occasional signs of interest, are highly addictive to our brains. And like forbidden fruit, what we can't have often becomes more desirable. The chase activates our brain's reward system, particularly the dopamine pathways. When we pursue someone unattainable, our nucleus accumbens, a key part of the reward circuit, lights up with activity. This creates a biochemical high similar to what's seen in other addictive behaviors. The challenge of winning over someone unattainable creates a powerful sense of accomplishment. When we overcome obstacles to gain someone's affection, we perceive them as more valuable. Success validates our self-worth and desirability. And generally, the greater the challenge, the greater the psychological reward when we succeed. In the context of Sternberg's triangular theory of love, the chase often emphasizes passion over intimacy and commitment. This can lead to infatuation rather than consummate love. While the thrill is powerful, it may not provide the foundation for a lasting relationship. To summarize, the thrill of the chase provides powerful neurological and psychological rewards. Uncertainty and intermittent reinforcement drive a cycle that can become addictive. While success brings validation, it's worth considering whether the chase alone can provide the foundation for a meaningful relationship. Many people are drawn to bad partners because of a deep-seated desire to transform them. This is often referred to as a savior complex, the belief that one can rescue or fix someone through love and dedication. The psychology behind wanting to fix someone often stems from several underlying beliefs and needs. People often believe there's a hidden good side to the person that only they can see or bring out. They may project idealized qualities onto their partner that don't actually exist. Successfully transforming someone can provide a sense of validation and accomplishment, and there's often a deep-seated need to feel needed or special. However, the reality of trying to fix someone often leads to disappointment and heartbreak. People can only change when they genuinely want to change for themselves, not for someone else. At the heart of the desire to transform someone are unrealistic expectations about relationships. These expectations often set both partners up for disappointment and can lead to resentment over time. The desire to fix someone often exists within a potentially toxic relationship dynamic. Recognizing these warning signs is crucial. Instead of trying to fix someone, healthier approaches to relationships include accepting people as they are, with their flaws and virtues, supporting natural growth without expectations or timelines, focusing on your own self-improvement rather than changing others, and seeking partners who already align with your values and goals. Remember, true transformation comes from within, not from the efforts of others. In the complex world of attraction, landing a so-called bad boy or bad girl can provide a powerful form of validation. Many people, especially those with lower self-esteem, seek external validation through their romantic relationships. When someone with low self-esteem successfully attracts a partner who's seen as desirable or difficult to attain, it can feel like a significant personal achievement. Successfully attracting someone seen as desirable or hard to get can provide a significant ego boost. This can include elevated social status among peers, feeling specially chosen, and a sense of accomplishment. However, this form of validation is often superficial and unsustainable. The ego boost is typically temporary and fleeting, based entirely on external approval rather than genuine self-worth. Ironically, the very qualities that make these bad partners appealing, their aloofness, unpredictability, and emotional distance, often lead to relationship dynamics that further damage self-esteem over time. Building healthy self-esteem comes from internal validation rather than external approval. This means choosing partners based on compatibility and mutual respect, not status, and recognizing your inherent worth independent of who you attract. While the ego boost from landing a difficult partner may feel good temporarily, building genuine self-esteem creates a foundation for healthier, more fulfilling relationships in the long term. Vicarious rebellion is a fascinating psychological phenomenon where people express their repressed desires through others. This concept explains one reason why good girls may be drawn to bad boys. It allows them to experience freedom and rebellion without directly breaking society's rules. The psychology behind vicarious rebellion is complex. When societal expectations conflict with internal desires, people may develop repressed feelings. Bad boys represent freedom from constraints, allowing good girls to safely explore forbidden experiences through association rather than direct action. Vicarious rebellion manifests in many ways. A common example is dating someone parents disapprove of, allowing a sense of rebellion while maintaining one's good identity. There's often an attraction to elements like tattoos, motorcycles, or an edgy style. The excitement comes from witnessing rule-breaking behavior and living through stories of adventures without taking personal risks. Vicarious rebellion offers several emotional benefits. It allows individuals to experience excitement without directly facing consequences. People can maintain their social identity while exploring the edges, enjoy a temporary escape from pressures of conformity, and find emotional release for suppressed feelings. Understanding your attraction patterns is essential for finding balance. It's important to recognize when vicarious rebellion is a healthy expression versus when it becomes self-destructive. Ultimately, finding direct and healthy expressions for repressed desires may be more fulfilling than living them vicariously through relationships with bad partners. By understanding the psychological drivers behind vicarious rebellion, we can make more conscious choices about our attractions and relationships. Traditional gender roles have long influenced our perception of what makes someone attractive. Society has established traditional masculine and feminine traits that influence attraction. These traits help explain why certain bad archetypes hold such appeal. Bad boys often embody exaggerated traditional masculine traits. These include confidence and assertiveness, dominance, independence, risk-taking behaviors, and emotional restraint. From an evolutionary perspective, These masculine traits can signal genetic fitness, an ability to protect, and skill in acquiring resources, all traditionally valued qualities in potential mates. The bad girl archetype embodies traits that often challenge traditional feminine expectations. These include defiance of constraints, sexual agency, independence, boldness, and intense emotional expression. The appeal of these traits often lies in how they represent freedom from societal constraints and an exciting departure from traditional expectations. It's important to note that gender roles are not static. They continue to evolve over time, influencing how we perceive attractiveness and what traits we find appealing. Media plays a significant role in both reinforcing and challenging these gender stereotypes. Films and television often portray bad characters with exaggerated gender-typical traits, further cementing their appeal. Understanding the connection between traditional gender roles and attraction helps explain why bad archetypes continue to hold such powerful appeal in our society. When we talk about attraction to bad boys or bad girls, what are we really drawn to? It's important to separate truly negative traits from positive qualities that happen to be found in people labeled as bad. On one side, we have truly negative traits like manipulation, callousness, and dishonesty. These traits aren't actually what attracts us. What we're actually drawn to are positive qualities like confidence, independence, and strength, which happen to also be present in so-called bad individuals. Being attracted to confidence and independence is not toxic. These are healthy qualities to value in a partner. Let's look more closely at what makes these traits so appealing. Confidence is universally attractive because it projects capability and creates a sense of safety and security. Confident people reduce social anxiety in interactions and demonstrate social value, making them naturally appealing. Another key trait that draws us in is independence. Independence demonstrates self-sufficiency and reduces pressure in relationships. It creates healthy space for both partners and allows for personal growth, qualities that build stronger relationships. Let's examine how these attractive traits can exist in both bad and good individuals. Both bad and good individuals can possess attractive traits like confidence and independence. The difference is in how they express and balance these qualities. The key difference is that in healthy individuals, these traits exist in balance with empathy, reliability, and emotional intelligence. Understanding this distinction helps us recognize what we're truly attracted to. Self-confidence and self-esteem play important roles in who we're attracted to and why. By understanding what truly attracts us, we can seek these positive traits in healthy relationships rather than pursuing bad individuals for the wrong reasons. Remember, it's not the badness that's attractive, it's the confidence, independence, and strength that can exist in anyone. The hero archetype represents an ideal balance in romantic attraction. When we look at romantic attraction, we often see three main archetypes. The nice archetype is supportive and stable. The bad archetype is exciting and mysterious. But the hero archetype combines the best qualities of both, creating a balance that many find most appealing. The hero archetype embodies a special combination of qualities. They show emotional intelligence and confidence without arrogance. They're protective, yet respectful of boundaries. They balance reliability with spontaneity and demonstrate vulnerability alongside strength. Looking at the Big Five personality traits, the hero archetype tends to show a balanced profile. They have moderate neuroticism, making them emotionally stable yet empathetic to others' feelings. They often show high extroversion and openness, being socially confident while remaining intellectually curious and adaptable. Their high agreeableness and conscientiousness make them kind and reliable, but not to the point of being pushovers or inflexible. Emotional stability is another key trait of the hero archetype. Unlike the emotional volatility often seen in the bad archetype, heroes maintain a balanced emotional state. So, why are hero archetypes often the most desired? They offer security without boredom and excitement without anxiety. They tend to have healthy attachment styles. They present the greatest potential for healthy long-term relationships and create growth-oriented partnerships where both people can thrive. The hero archetype shows us that we don't have to choose between excitement and stability in relationships. We can find both in the same person. When it comes to relationships, we often seek different qualities depending on whether we're looking for a short-term or long-term connection. Short-term attractions are typically characterized by high levels of excitement, passion, and sometimes insecurity, creating an intense but potentially unstable dynamic. Long-term attractions, however, tend to prioritize trust, intimacy, and emotional security, essential elements for building a lasting relationship. One helpful framework for understanding different types of attraction is Sternberg's triangular theory of love. This theory proposes that love consists of three main components: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Different combinations of these elements create distinct relationship types. Short-term attractions often emphasize passion with limited commitment, resulting in infatuation. Long-term relationships typically integrate all three components, forming what Sternberg calls consummate love. Our relationship goals typically evolve over time, influencing what qualities we find attractive in a partner. In the early stages of attraction, we might prioritize physical appearance, excitement, and novelty. These are often the qualities that spark initial interest. As relationships progress, we tend to value different qualities: emotional connection, shared values, and the ability to work through challenges together become increasingly important. Relationships typically progress through distinct stages, each emphasizing different partner qualities. In the early butterflies phase, physical attraction and chemistry dominate. As the relationship progresses through dating and commitment, emotional connection and compatibility become more crucial. By the time couples reach major milestones like moving in together or marriage, the ability to compromise, communicate effectively, and share life goals becomes essential for relationship success. Research shows distinct differences in the traits we prioritize in short-term versus long-term relationships. In short-term attractions, we tend to prioritize physical characteristics, excitement, social status, and sexual chemistry. These qualities create intense but often fleeting connections. For long-term relationships, however, we typically value emotional stability, shared values, communication skills, reliability, and kindness. These qualities foster deeper connection and lasting compatibility. Understanding these differences can help us recognize our own relationship patterns and make more conscious choices about the partners we select based on our current relationship goals. Media plays a significant role in shaping our attraction patterns, especially through the glamorization of bad boy and bad girl archetypes. Popular movies, television shows, and music consistently portray rebellious, emotionally unavailable characters as particularly desirable and exciting. Media often creates unrealistic expectations about relationships, particularly with bad partners. It romanticizes toxic behaviors as passionate, depicts dangerous situations as exciting, and shows dramatic personal transformations through the power of love. These media portrayals can influence how we perceive relationships, affecting our expectations and what we find attractive. The reality of relationships with toxic partners is very different from their media portrayal. Media rarely shows the long-term consequences, real emotional damage, or true warning signs of toxic relationships. Research on media's impact shows clear effects on our real-world relationship preferences and expectations. Studies indicate increased attraction to bad archetypes after media exposure, distorted relationship expectations, and higher tolerance for problematic behaviors. Developing media awareness is essential for counteracting these effects. Critically evaluating media portrayals helps separate fiction from reality and recognize potentially harmful relationship patterns. Media has long been fascinated with the bad boy archetype, creating iconic characters that capture our imagination and shape our perception of attraction. Let's examine three classic bad boy archetypes that have profoundly shaped popular culture. First, James Bond, the sophisticated spy who lives dangerously and seduces with ease. Next, James Dean embodied the rebellious youth in films like Rebel Without a Cause. His brooding demeanor and anti-establishment attitude created a template for the troubled, emotional bad boy. Our third archetype is Jesse James, the infamous Wild West outlaw. His fearless nature and romanticized criminal lifestyle created an enduring bad boy image in American folklore. What makes these archetypes so appealing? They represent freedom from social constraints, exhibit bold risk-taking behavior, maintain a mysterious aura, and display a confidence that often borders on arrogance. The bad boy archetype has evolved in contemporary media. Actors like River Phoenix, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Keanu Reeves have portrayed modern versions with more emotional depth and complexity. These archetypes have had a profound cultural impact. They shape societal expectations around attraction, influence fashion and style trends, create templates for character development in fiction, and establish certain personality traits as desirable. By understanding these media archetypes, we gain insight into how fictional portrayals influence our real-world attractions and expectations. Celebrity relationships often capture public fascination, especially those involving individuals perceived as bad boys or bad girls. Media outlets frequently categorize celebrity couples using the bad boy or bad girl stereotype, particularly when one partner has a rebellious public image. There's often a significant gap between media portrayal and reality. Celebrity images are carefully curated, making it difficult to understand the true dynamics of their relationships. There are significant limitations to public perception of celebrity relationships. We only see what's shown in public. Media narratives may be exaggerated, and personal struggles often remain private. There are dangers in idealizing celebrity relationships. These relationships shouldn't be used as models for our own. The bad boy or bad girl dynamics, often portrayed as exciting, are frequently unsustainable in real life. Public perception rarely reflects true relationship health, and media tends to simplify complex interpersonal dynamics. Ultimately, celebrity relationships provide intriguing but limited insights into the dynamics of attraction to bad boy or bad girl archetypes. They should be viewed with awareness of these significant limitations. Personal stories offer valuable insights into why people are drawn to bad archetypes and what they learn from these experiences. Sarah was drawn to her ex-boyfriend because of his mysterious and confident demeanor. She describes the initial excitement as addictive, but after a year, she realized she had been ignoring clear warning signs of a toxic relationship. Miguel was thrilled by his ex-girlfriend's unpredictability. One day she'd be completely invested, the next day distant. He kept trying to win her over, but after 6 months, Miguel was exhausted from the emotional roller coaster. Taylor believed she could change her partner. She focused on the occasional moments of kindness, convinced that was his true self. After 2 years, she realized she was chasing potential rather than accepting reality, and finally left after recognizing patterns of manipulation. After multiple toxic relationships, Jordan finally sought therapy. He discovered he was attracted to chaotic partners because it felt familiar from his childhood. Through therapy, Jordan learned to recognize his patterns and now maintains a healthy relationship. Many who've been drawn to bad partners discovered that journaling and reflection help them identify patterns. Recording thoughts, feelings, and experiences creates awareness that leads to healthier choices in future relationships. Personal transformation is a common outcome after breaking unhealthy relationship patterns. This growth extends beyond romantic relationships into career development, friendships, and overall emotional well-being. From these personal stories, we can identify several key insights. Initial attraction often stems from novelty and excitement. Warning signs are frequently ignored during early stages. Inconsistent behavior creates an addictive pursuit cycle. Our childhood experiences shape our attraction patterns, and perhaps most importantly, Self-reflection is critical for breaking unhealthy cycles. Expert opinions from evolutionary psychology and clinical psychology offer important insights into why we're attracted to certain traits. Evolutionary psychologists suggest attraction to bad boys may have roots in our evolutionary past. Traits like dominance, confidence, and risk taking might signal genetic fitness. Studies show women must be more selective in mate choice due to biological constraints. Men who display confidence and dominance may be perceived as having better genetic material. Physical traits also play a role in attraction. David Buss's research demonstrates that facial symmetry is universally attractive as it signals developmental stability and genetic fitness. Clinical psychologists take a different approach, focusing on psychological factors that influence our attraction patterns. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and expanded by researchers like Fraley and Shaver, explains how early relationships shape our adult attachment styles. Those with anxious attachment often pursue partners who are emotionally unavailable. Self-esteem plays a crucial role in our relationship choices. Individuals with low self-esteem often accept poor treatment, believing they don't deserve better. This creates a cycle where they're drawn to partners who reinforce these negative beliefs. Relationship experts identify several factors that contribute to healthy attractions. These include proximity, similarity in values, reciprocal liking, and emotional availability. Understanding these factors can help individuals recognize when they're attracted to someone for the right reasons. By understanding both evolutionary and clinical perspectives, we gain a more complete picture of why we're attracted to certain traits, including those often found in bad partners. Scientific research provides fascinating insights into what attracts us to certain types of people. Studies consistently show that what we look for in a partner often depends on our relationship goals. Women seeking emotional support and long-term commitment tend to prefer partners with reliability and empathy, often described as nice guys. In contrast, those seeking short-term relationships or casual encounters may be more drawn to excitement and mystery, traits often associated with bad boys. This distinction between short-term and long-term goals significantly influences who we find attractive in different contexts. Research also highlights the incredible diversity in attraction patterns across different demographics, cultures, and individuals. Psychological studies reveal that factors like gender identity diversity, sexual attraction, and gender expectations all play roles in who we find attractive. Modern dating has introduced new challenges that affect attraction patterns and relationship formation. Pew Research Center studies show that many people find dating more difficult now than in the past decade, with women particularly citing increased physical and emotional risks. These research findings often manifest in real relationship dynamics, where initial attraction may differ significantly from what leads to long-term compatibility. Studies suggest that while the bad boy archetype may create initial chemistry, relationships built on mutual respect and emotional connection tend to last longer. Gender roles have evolved significantly throughout history, influencing what traits we find attractive in potential partners. Historically, rigid gender norms dictated behavior expectations for men and women, which directly influenced attraction patterns. Traditional gender roles have shaped attraction by defining what was considered masculine and feminine. Men were expected to be stoic providers, while women were valued for being nurturing and submissive. The bad boy archetype embodied exaggerated traditionally masculine traits like dominance and rebellion against societal constraints. Similarly, bad girls often attracted attention by defying expectations of female submissiveness. Throughout the 20th century, challenges to traditional gender roles began reshaping what we found attractive. Women's movements questioned restrictions on female expression, while men increasingly pushed against constraining expectations of stoicism and dominance. Today's less rigid gender expectations are reshaping what we find attractive. The contemporary bad boy or bad girl has evolved from historical stereotypes. there's greater appreciation for partners who can express both traditionally masculine and feminine traits. Cultural variations in gender expectations continue to influence attraction patterns. As societies evolve, we're seeing a trend where the appeal of bad archetypes increasingly comes from authenticity and confidence rather than rigid gender stereotypes. As gender roles continue to evolve, so too will the traits we find attractive in the bad boy or bad girl archetype. What remains constant is our attraction to authenticity, confidence, and the ability to challenge societal expectations in meaningful ways. As society evolves, we've developed increased awareness about unhealthy relationship dynamics and attachment patterns. People are becoming more conscious of unhealthy patterns like emotional roller coasters, intermittent reinforcement, and ignoring relationship red flags. Attachment theory provides a powerful framework for understanding why we're drawn to certain partners. People with anxious attachment often pursue partners with avoidant attachment, creating a painful push-pull dynamic. Self-reflection is crucial for breaking unhealthy relationship patterns. By examining our attractions and repeated behaviors, we can uncover the unconscious forces driving our choices. Breaking the cycle of attraction to unavailable or unhealthy partners requires a conscious effort. The process involves recognizing patterns, understanding personal triggers, challenging limiting beliefs, setting healthy boundaries, and practicing new behaviors. Developing emotional intelligence is crucial for making healthier relationship choices. This includes improving self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills to recognize and avoid unhealthy dynamics. With increased awareness, we can better distinguish between healthy and unhealthy relationship dynamics. Healthy relationships involve mutual respect, trust, and support, while unhealthy ones often feature control, jealousy, and emotional instability. As we become more aware of these patterns, we can make conscious choices that lead to healthier and more fulfilling relationships. The powerful good archetype represents a balanced approach to attraction, combining traditionally appealing traits with emotional maturity. There's a growing trend away from purely bad archetypes toward a more balanced model that preserves the attractive qualities while eliminating the toxic elements. The powerful good archetype combines traditionally attractive traits like confidence and independence with emotional intelligence and empathy. Research suggests that the most appealing partners are those who can be assertive when needed, while showing genuine care and empathy. This balance of strength and compassion creates both attraction and stability. As awareness grows, there's a notable shift toward valuing partners who embody this balanced archetype. Media is increasingly portraying characters with depth beyond the traditional bad archetypes, and relationship experts emphasize the importance of emotional intelligence alongside confidence. Media literacy is the foundation for promoting healthier relationship models. It involves critically consuming media, understanding its influence, and questioning unrealistic portrayals of relationships. The current media landscape often presents stereotyped relationship models, glamorizes toxic behaviors, and offers limited representation of diverse, healthy relationships. Statistics show that many media portrayals reinforce rather than challenge gender stereotypes. Media can provide valuable models of interpersonal communication, showing examples of conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, and healthy boundaries in relationships. Some media does provide positive examples of relationships, showcasing equitable partnerships, emotional vulnerability, and growth through challenges. These portrayals can serve as valuable models. Media has a global impact with the potential to influence relationship norms across cultures. There is a collective responsibility to promote healthier models worldwide. Let's explore recommendations for creating better media representation of relationships. Content creators should develop complex, realistic relationships and show healthy conflict resolution. Media consumers should practice critical consumption and support positive portrayals. educators can teach media literacy and help analyze relationship representations. Better media representation can normalize healthy relationship dynamics, reduce acceptance of toxic behaviors, provide realistic expectations, and encourage emotional intelligence and communication skills. Media doesn't just reflect our relationships, it helps shape them. By advocating for healthier relationship models in our media, we can influence positive changes in real world relationships. As society evolves, so do our patterns of attraction and relationship dynamics. Let's explore the key factors that will likely shape our attraction patterns in the years to come. The digital age is fundamentally changing how we form and maintain relationships. Social media and dating apps are creating new dynamics in how we meet and interact with potential partners. Technologies like dating apps will likely continue evolving to match people based on more meaningful compatibility factors rather than primarily physical attraction. Throughout history, beauty standards have constantly evolved. This evolution will continue as society becomes more diverse and inclusive. We're seeing a shift toward more diverse and inclusive standards of beauty, which will likely continue expanding as global perspectives blend and interact. Our digital behaviors, like phubbing, snubbing someone in favor of your phone, are already affecting relationship quality. These technology-related behaviors will increasingly shape our relationship expectations. Future technologies like advanced virtual reality and AI companions will introduce entirely new elements to how we experience attraction and form connections. The traditional relationship progression is already changing. Future relationships may follow more flexible patterns with different stages and timelines. We're likely to see relationships that emphasize personal growth alongside partnership, with greater acceptance of non-traditional relationship timelines and milestones. Family and relationship structures are becoming increasingly diverse. Future attraction patterns will likely adapt to accommodate many different relationship models. As society becomes more accepting of diverse relationship models, the pressure to conform to traditional relationship patterns will likely continue to decrease. Increased understanding of psychology is making people more aware of their own attraction patterns. This awareness allows for more conscious relationship choices. As psychological education becomes more mainstream, people may increasingly choose partners based on genuine compatibility rather than unfulfilled childhood needs or unconscious patterns. Looking forward, attraction patterns will likely become more diverse, personalized, and conscious. Technology will continue to play a significant role, while psychological awareness helps us make healthier relationship choices. Ultimately, while the expressions of attraction may evolve, the human desire for meaningful connection will remain at the heart of our relationship choices. As we conclude our exploration of attraction patterns, let's focus on understanding your own attractions and making conscious relationship choices. Self-awareness is the foundation of healthy relationships. By recognizing your attraction patterns, understanding your attachment style, and identifying emotional triggers, you gain valuable insights about yourself. Your past attractions reveal important patterns about what you're drawn to. The key is distinguishing between healthy traits and potentially harmful ones. Prioritizing healthy relationship dynamics means seeking partners who offer mutual respect, emotional availability, and opportunities for growth. To better understand your attractions, consider these practical steps. Journal about your relationship patterns, seek feedback from trusted friends, consider professional guidance if needed, and practice mindful dating decisions. Remember that understanding your attractions is a lifelong journey of self-discovery and growth. With each relationship experience, you have the opportunity to learn more about yourself and make more conscious choices that lead to fulfilling connections.